Hey, what's up, people? How's it going there? All right. Yeah, my Patreon, a lot of this is going to be revolving around my Patreon. I found a thing full of drawings and shit that I mail out to my people on Patreon. I'll get into that in a minute. But the video of my freight trains, a lot of people are like, wow, I didn't know you did that many freight trains. And holy shit, like you're really putting it in, and this and that. And that's actually a while ago. I have here actually some sketches of ideas. Some of them I actually did do on the freight trains, and some of them were ideas that were to come in the future. And yes, I have a black eye. We'll get into that later as well. Some of you guys were on my live know about it, but yeah. So first, let's get through this stuff. Right. So these are things that I give away on my Patreon account. What I do is every so often I'll hold one up like this. Something like this. I'll hold it up and I'll say, okay, now whoever likes it or wants to own it, just tell me on my Patreon. I'll be the first person to comment on my Patreon that you would like to have that or send that your way or however you want to word it, and I'll mail it out to you free of charge. But being a lot of you guys were asking about the freight trains and stuff like that, and even at the Hall of Fame, a few people had mentioned if you really listen about freight trains and stuff. So here's some stuff that I had, and I'll show you guys. All right. All right. Well, this is just a regular old blockbuster. See, this is a Xerox copy of a freight train, the kind that I was getting. And I would count the beams and do it, and then I would know exactly how to do it. So this is drawn on there. That's one. But that's really junk. I'll probably add that in with something else. Here's a D3 he wanted to do on there. This is cool. This really was my next. Well, here's one that I did do. That I put on my Patreon. This is one I actually did do. You see it? That's one I actually did do on a freight. And here was the one that was up next. I was going to do a big RD blockbuster and then do a big old dinosaur sleeping on top of it. And I was going to make it say, Stone Age style. Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I never got around to it. Well, I got arrested. I got arrested before I could accomplish this one. Um, there's another whole car I wanted to do. There's another whole car I wanted to do. I'm leaning forward like this because I know sometimes the voice skips out. Here's another one I was planning on doing. Here's another one I was planning on doing. I don't know. This is me. I think I dated it. 2020. Probably just fucking around. 1999. There's a rabid, like a rabid dog, rabid. Ah, here's a rounder version. Yeah, that's a rounder version of this one. Yeah. Same concept. Just I wanted a backup plan. If I couldn't get it perfectly straight, I'll do it round. The rabid piece. Here's just an RD. Here's just an RD. This one I was doing for that dude site. There's just an RD on paper. This is me fucking around with a monster face. Oh, these are cool. Yo, check these out. Tell me if this shit's cool or not, all right? Yeah, we're gonna get into that black eye, don't worry. Look, I'm giving these away on my Patreon. Yeah, that's pretty fucking cool, right? Definitely pretty cool for a guy that don't do bubble letters, right? Or throw ups, as y'all call it. All these I'll be giving away on my Patreon. You have to be a Patreon member. And when I post it, you have to be the first person to comment that you'll take it. So I'll be giving these throughout the next year coming up. Alien and Predator. Like, I never finished this. I didn't get to shadowing it or anything. There's a lot of work on it. It's real rough. This looks like just some of an RD piece that I was doing. Oh, here's the D. Match. Uh, all this I'll be giving away on my Patreon. I was actually going to do this in a abandoned station on the west side. Here's this one again, a different version of it, a more simpler, quicker version. You know, I just realized I could be looking up at the TV instead. I'm like tipping around. I could just go like this. Oh, this is cool. I was going to do this on a freight also, down low with Sear. You know how Sear does them? Yeah, I was going to do this. Sear do one and I do one. It got a little fucked up the paper, but what's it say? Oh, it's priority mail. This was going to be a whole car on a freight. Never going around it. A lot of these, this was pretty much my freight ideas folder. It's cool, right? I like this. This was going to be the next one. I actually started getting paint together for it. Yeah. So now those things I give away, like I said, slowly but surely on my Patreon. Every 2 or 3 weeks, I hold up one and I say, you guys can have it. Just be the first one to comment that you want it, and I'll mail it to you anywhere in the world for free. For instance, this one here. This one just went out. Well, it didn't go out if I'm holding it, but this one is the last one. That is the last one I posted on my Patreon. I got to mail that out tomorrow. Tomorrow, that's going to be mailed out to Madrid, Spain. Yeah, one of my Patreon people that lives in Spain said, Yo, Rob, I want that. So I'm mailing it out to him free of charge. Cost the person nothing. Well, other than his Patreon account thing. And I give out these items on my Patreon to show my appreciation for you guys. Because I know times are hard, money is tight, shit's fucked up out there. And I'm honored to know that someone's actually willing to go into pocket for me like that. It's means a lot to me, man. Especially like I said, times are hard. You know, I'm really not selling artwork no more. You don't see me on eBay selling, though I'm about to. But yeah, man, times are like that, and I really appreciate it, man. Thank you guys, man. True fans, right? Yeah. Now, what the hell happened to my eyeball? Right. If you were on my live last Wednesday, I was here talking and I explained when D3 came, I actually forgot all about it, but when D3 come by, he was ringing my bell, he was giving me Christmas gifts. He gave me and my son nice jackets to wear for Christmas. And I would say, oh yeah, this, that. We sat down, answered some questions, and I had explained how I was in a bicycle accident. And yeah, that's what happened here. It was some crazy shit, but I'll tell you, I'm going to explain it and try and stand up and do it the best I can. But I ride a fixed gear bicycle. For you that don't know, Google what it means. Track bike, it's also known as. And you can only pedal forward. Or if you pedal backward, the bike will go backwards. If you pedal forward, the bike will go forward. Very similar to a tricycle, but it's only got 2 wheels. So when you're going fast, you lean forward, stop. Most people do it with foot pegs for the belts that go over their feet on the pedals, the belts, or if not, they'll have the pegs that actually catch the shoe in it so they can lift up and stop. You know, just lift the back wheel off the ground and stop pedaling, and the bike will stop, slide out. I do it balls out. It's called suicide. Yeah. So I don't use that shit. I just got my straight up bike. However, I did put a front brake on it. And it's an old Shogun frame, like the 1970s or something. Piece of junk bike. Everyone's always like, "Yo, Rob, let me get you a new bicycle. Let me get you a new bicycle." Yo, this, that, and I'm always like, "Nah, man." Like I've steal real nice bicycles throughout my life, and I just sell them, and I keep the one I got. It gets flies, man. It flies. I don't give a shit about it. I could literally take that bicycle and lean it up against a pole, and come back the next day, and it'll still be there. You know? Yeah, it's a sleeper. Boogie's as fuck. It's got all nice parts on it. All the parts are light and accountable, and they're reliable, and they work. Phew! I'm like a fucking mongoose, like a shark on that shit. Cutting through. People see me out there up on the Ave. Who was it? Oh, wow, he took a picture of me, bro. I look like I was sleeping on that shit. Like, whoa, 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 whoa. Which that would contradict everything I'm saying here. But yeah, he must have caught me early in the morning before my coffee. But yeah, it was funny near the bridge. I'm like, clearly, I look like I'm on dope or something. But yeah, man, he was in his car. He took the picture. He sent it to me like that when I got home from work and shit. That was funny. But anyway, I'm flying up First Avenue. I punched out from work and I just want to get home, so I'm up. I just passed the UN building. I'm on like 49 50th Street. Like, it's a hill. You got the bike lane. Then you got the buses that come and swerve like that to go up 50th. So, I see the bus swerving. So I'm in the lane. I ain't in the bike lane. I'm not saying I'm innocent. I am not saying that I was in the right. I'm just telling you what happened. Okay, I am not innocent in this thing. As I told the people that the whole thing happened, I said, here's what happened. So I'm cutting it up, flying through. I got my army coat. Let me show you. So, like 2 lanes, and I'm in the furthest part, and then over the side is the tunnel that goes through. So I cut through 1 lane, seeing that the guy's got like a truck type deal. But I can see after that truck, the next car in the next lane, like say he's here, the next car is like here. So I'm like, yo, I got space. I could flip it. So I'm like a mongoose, man. I go for the angles. I cut right in, except the vehicle that was there, yeah, was 5 or 6 feet that way, but it had a bunch of fucking rebar hanging out the back of this fucking thing. Yeah, like rebar that you would run through fucking cement, like heights like this of fucking solid fucking metal, man. Yeah, for real. One of them fucking things right here, man. Right here. Fucking right here. Come on, army coat. Why my army coat be all perfect? I'll be like, yo, you full of shit. But no, for real, look. All right. Yo, here's the pocket, right? That shit caught through the pocket. You see, this is the flip of the pocket, right? You see the flip of the pocket? That shit caught through here. You see the hole? Look. You see the hole? My fingers in it? That shit went through there into here and ripped this part down like that. And it's hard to rip a fucking coat, man. An army coat. Look, rip that shit like that. Right into me, right here. That shit caught me right here. Right? And then that shit, like here, look. This is just an example. This ain't rebar. It's literally like weightlifting belts, like a weightlifting, like a barbell, like a long barbell, like a bunch of those things hanging out the back of the truck. Right. So one of them, there was a whole mess of them, a whole spool of them. One of them standing up. I'm like this. Look, one of them cutting it up. Right? One of them stabs me right here, and right in there, gets everything. Actually lifts me. I got another one right here, right here. I see it. Like my face is like this. I said, "Ah!" Literally, I saw it. Like, yo, like that shit was ready to go through here and come out here. And I went, yeah, really like a fucking mongoose, man. That shit caught me right here. Yeah, fucked me up, man. Had me all kinds of fucked up. That's what happened. Like pieces of rebar hanging out the back. Right here. It's just black and blue here. I got this thing on here. This is just something I would put on when I used to do some exercise. Just a little extra for my support, and I'd also wear a weightlifting belt too, No, but I told him, now listen, now when I had this army coat on, right? You see the pocket, right? How it's ripped. That shit went in here, caught through this and ripped and hung up like that. Freaking coat was ripped, right? So when that shit happened, wait, let me get that thing. When that shit caught me right here, like that, it hooked, right? And it was still in the car and hooked. I went, I literally lifted up off my bike. And I was hanging on. Come on, puppy, you stepping on my shit. Puppy. My God. Dumb dog. She's running away because she think I'm getting excited. Jeez, we put my coat on, winging around sticks and shit. The poor dog's like, what the fuck? Let me get out of here. But anyway, it actually caught me right there and stayed. I was literally like on a fishing pole. Hmm, like a fucking fishing pole. Like, say, here's the rebar, and this is me. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Down like twice. For real, this shit went, whoa, and I felt my feet touch the ground. And then I went back up, and the bike just kept going. You know, the bike just kept going. I saw that shit right here. Like a mongoose. I saw like right there, like it's gonna go through here and come out over here somewhere. Some suffering Bob shit. Man, I'm like, fuck. All right. Just as I saw, I said, yeah, I tell you, I'm like a fucking mongoose, man. That's what happened. Right up in my shit. And next thing, yeah, I was literally hanging like, say this is me, right? And here is the rebar. And this is the street. All right. Now my knees are too short, man. You can't see it. Anyway, yeah, I can't show you that way. This is me, and this is the rebar. The fucking shit caught me here, and I was literally like just whoom, whoom, twice. I felt that shit go like just whoom from the pressure, and the bicycle just kept going that way, and I was like whoom, whoom, not that high, of course. I'm exaggerating, but you get what I'm saying. Like I literally felt it go like that, like maybe 6, 7 inches. I went whoom, whoom, from it going boing, boing. I was like, yo, what the fuck, right? And look, I can see the guy. He's like, yo, he's driving the vehicle. And behind me is a huge bus. It's like the M15 bus and shit coming up First Avenue. I look at the bus driver. I go, he's fucking up laughing, man. Him fucking laughing, man. And he knew I was all right, you know. But even the guy in front, he's like, "Oh my god!" He gets out of the car, you know. It stops. Thank God the light. Imagine if I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa," and he had the light. He could just keep going. Yo, I would have got fucked up. A big bus behind me and shit. Man, that was some wild shit, man. Anyway, the guy looks at me, Spanish fella. You know, he's driving. He's, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." I said, "No, not your fault." I said, "White man." He looked at me like, what? I said, I'm just fucking with you. That shit was totally my fault, man. Just my fault, man. He's like, yeah, you know, I didn't, you know, this. I said, you did nothing wrong, man. I'm cutting through shit, man. That was me, man. I'm fucked up. I said, I thought I had the shit when I didn't. I didn't see stuff hanging out. So I squeaked right in without thinking. You know, I went by instinct and my shit was off. So, yeah, it's all good. I got on my bicycle and rode away. And then I came home and here, and 3 hours later, I came on my live. I was doing my live with D3 came by ringing the bell because he wanted to give me Christmas gifts. The video, I didn't like how it turned out. And so I didn't post it. And actually, for you guys that were on there, it actually just shut off, but didn't shut off. And you heard me talking about a stolen bike or something like that. But, yeah. It all got, so I just didn't even bother posting that thing. Somehow it got fucked up. I think Sammy, when he got up, the button got hit and it ended the stream or something. But then it kept recording like my voice and stuff. It's just the camera went off or something like that. So I figured, you guys don't need all that shit. So that's what happened. And also the whole thing with I also explained on my thing, which was pretty cool, man, that when I dropped that video about Paul Stanley meeting the guy from Kiss, Paul Stanley, and I used to bump into him quite often after that. And, you know, being I actually put his name in the title, which is something I never really do. If you notice, I shy away from that because then I feel like I'm clout chasing. Yeah, I knew that Paul Stanley wouldn't give a shit. You know, like I said, I literally would bump into him and he'd go like that or something. You know, if he saw me in the pizza parlor buying pizza, like all their headshots I was explaining was in the and all these pizza parlors like John and Tony's and Sutton, and they would write on it with a ballpoint pen, Paul Stanley, thank you, Tony, the best pizza in town, or something like that. They'd write on it, date, best wishes in your pizza parlors. May all your financial dreams come true, or something like that. They write on it with like a ballpoint pen or something. So I had no problem, putting his name, Paul Stanley, in the logo of it, the title of the video. And in doing so, a few people actually reached out to me to have platforms that talk about rock and roll music. And they got like hundreds of thousands of followers. I declined. They said, "Oh, yo, come on our show and this and that." I said, "Nah." I said, "I talk about criminals that wrote graffiti." I said, I mean, I do know a little bit about rock and roll, but I'd be lying. I'd be chasing like some fucking fake shit if I turned around and acted like I'm some kind of rock and roll expert or something like that. I said, I could tell you guys what I listened to and stuff, but I denied I don't want to go on their shows. Um, Probably would have been a good idea, but yeah, I noticed that just because of the title, in the title, I think I put Paul Stanley caught me writing graffiti in the late 80s or something. I forget the name of the title. But yeah, I also got like 12 extra followers from that, just like in one shot. So that was pretty cool. I learned a little something there. I mean, I always knew that. I just never wet my chops with it. I figured, Paul Stanley, like if you talk about like a graffiti writer or something and you're talking about him in a negative way, then yo, that never happened. I don't know that motherfucker. I ain't never see him. And no, man, RD just fucking with you. And you know what I mean? But it's so, I really don't like to use people's names and titles. But with him, yeah, it's pretty cool. And I knew, like, if someone asked him, he'd be like, "Oh shit, yeah, yeah, I met him. I remember that." 'Cause he seemed like a jolly guy, friendly guy. He wasn't walking around like these motherfuckers nowadays with bodyguards and whole like teams and entourages and shit. He'd walk around by himself, man, with a girl or something like that. Two people, three people or something, walking around or by himself, literally by himself, just buying pizzas and shit like that. There was a lot of people from that neighborhood, as I said, that were celebrities. Da, 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 da. Take care, people. Don't forget, check out my Patreon, man.